Let me tell you how to do this exercise called the bucket wrap-up, or you could just call it the bucket game. It's best to use at the end of a series, and you'll see why in a moment, but you definitely want to leave ample time for this game. Perhaps instead of taking prayer requests this week, it will take time to do this exercise. Now, the exercise has two purposes. One is to review what God's doing in people's lives through the series, and the other one is to strengthen the relational environment of the group, because you're going to see people will have a lot of opportunities to communicate with each other. Now, here's what you're going to need. First, you'll need a bucket, or a large Tupperware, or a medium-sized basket, or a plastic bin. And then you're going to need several soft balls or toys. Enough for at least one for every member of your group, maybe more than that. But they should be things that a person could hold in one hand and that you could toss around without doing damage. And they should be things that are interesting, unique, and fun. Could be a Nerf ball, a Beanie Baby, a small stuffed animal, a squeeze toy, and you put them all in the bucket. Now here's how the game works. To begin with, everybody in the group grabs one item from the bucket. And then when everybody has their item, then you can start the game. And it's the first person's turn. It doesn't matter who starts first. Everyone will have a chance. Then two things happen during each person's turn. First of all, you share what you're taking away from the series. Tell one thing that God's been doing in your life as a result of the recent discussions, maybe something you learned or some way that you've applied God's truth, some way that you're growing. Then the second part of your turn, you take your item and you toss it to someone in the circle that you would like to share something with. And you're going to share one of three things with that person. First, you can share a word of affirmation, something you appreciate or admire, a blessing, a thank you, whatever that might be. Or you could share an apology, anything at all that you need to take responsibility for toward that person. Or you could share a challenge, something you feel that that person needs to strive for, take hold of, or to work on. Now, the one who's receiving that affirmation, apology, or challenge is not really allowed to say anything except thank you. And then he or she puts the toy that's tossed to them back in the bucket. Then that turn is over and the next person can take a turn. Now, it doesn't have to be the person who just received the sharing. It can be anyone who hasn't had a turn yet. And you keep going until everyone has had a chance to share. Not everybody in the group has to be a recipient every time you play the game. If it's your turn, you can speak to anyone you want to, even if they've already had others share with them, if that's how the Holy Spirit leads. But when everyone has had a turn, then simply ask someone to close the group in prayer, and then you can dismiss the group.